He was an ordinary government official who climbed the ranks with his pen in the magnificent corridors of the Ottoman palace. To some, he was a powerful Grand Vizier who ensured the survival of the state. To others, he was a tyrant who sacrificed everything for his position. Ultimately, his body would be sold in the markets for medicinal purposes. This was Hazerpare Ahmet Pasha. Centuries ago, Ottoman statesmen uttered words that still resonate today. Walking with your head on a platter. This is not a simple saying, but a bloody reality. Influential figures feel the cold breath of death on their necks with every step they take. The price for even the smallest mistake in state affairs is an irreversible, certain, and merciless punishment. The severed heads of ministers and grand viziers who made mistakes were placed under their own armrests immediately after their execution. Throughout human history, many powerful men have tasted this tragic end at the executioner's blade. This terrifying practice proves to the empire that office always carries a deadly risk. But there is one among them whose punishment does not end with the loss of his head. His entire body is cut into pieces by the executioners and sold to the Ottoman people. In this case, execution is not an ordinary end, but the first step of a chilling beginning. From the treasury office to the executioner's chair. Ahmet was born in Istanbul in the 1590s, the son of an ordinary cavalryman. He received no special education and did not come from a noble family or a distinguished lineage. However, his greatest weapon is not his sword, but the pen he holds tightly in his hand. From an early age, he writes with unparalleled speed and tremendous beauty. The only thing that sets him apart from others is this bond he has formed with ink. This extraordinary talent takes him to the heart of the state, the treasury, at a young age. For many long years, he grows up among the state's secret records, accounts, and correspondence. He waits in those dark rooms until he is 40. Over time, he climbs the ladder and earns the title of chronicler. Now his name is no longer just Ahmet in the corridors of the state. He is known as Chronicler Ahmet Pasha. But the ambition within him cannot be contained by the walls of the offices. The boundaries drawn by ink begin to feel too narrow for him. His ambition to rise quickly draws him into those dark steps from which there is no return. The Grand Vizier, worth 300,000 kurush. Patience is replaced by gold. Ahmet Pasha offers a large amount of gold as a bribe to Sultanzade Mehmet Pasha, the Grand Vizier of the time. He sees with his own eyes that money can easily open even the thickest doors of the state. He immediately reaps the rewards of his bribe. First, he is appointed as a bailiff, then as a registrar. His rise is accelerated not by patience and hard work, but by shady dealings and changing hands of gold coins. Years later, Ahmet Pasha is promoted to the rank of vizier and appointed as treasurer. But he has no intention of stopping there. He spins heavy intrigues in the palace corridors to reach the highest level of office and seize complete power. To achieve his goal, he confronts Sultan Ibrahim I, known as Deli Ibrahim. By paying a full 300,000 kurush, he has himself declared Grand Vizier. The son of an ordinary sipahi becomes the most powerful man ruling the state. The authority of the office is not enough for him. He also wants to infiltrate the dynasty through blood ties. He's betrothed to the Sultan's 2-year-old daughter, Beyhan Sultan, and becomes the Sultan's son-in-law. The seat of power, which seems so glorious, will soon turn into the empire's downfall. The Venetian War and the Hidden Siege. The year is 1447. When chronicler Ahmet Pasha takes up his seal, the Ottoman Empire is in the midst of a relentless war with Venice. The Venetians completely block the Dardanelles Strait with a formidable fleet of 60 ships. The Ottoman navy was trapped. No relief fleet could reach the open seas. Simultaneously, bloody Venetian attacks began on the island of Crete and the coast of Bosnia. News of wave after wave of territorial losses and collapse came from the front. However, the Grand Vizier, afraid of losing his newly acquired position, made a fatal decision. He hides the fact that Çanakkale is under siege from Sultan Ibrahim. Fazli Pasha, who personally witnessed the disaster at the front, comes to the palace to shout the truth. He tells the Sultan that the situation is heading towards disaster. But Ahmed Pasha's response is very harsh. Grand Vizier Ahmed Pasha immediately accuses Fazli Pasha of taking bribes and treason. The Sultan blindly trusts his son-in-law, Ahmed Pasha. While the commander who spoke the truth is thrown into prison, the state is imprisoned in a huge lie. The empire plundered for fur. As the aftermath of war continues, a concubine in the Sultan's harem emerges. She whispers a story that if the entire palace is covered in sable fur, the Sultan will become immortal. Sultan Ibrahim believes this story. He orders the immediate collection of all sable furs in the Ottoman lands. Ahmet Pasha turns this absurd demand into an opportunity for his own gain. He imposes a heavy burden on the people's shoulders in the form of a sable tax. At the same time, Ahmet Pasha uses money from the treasury to build a massive royal barge adorned with precious stones. While soldiers in Bosnia and Crete wait helplessly, he sails this ostentatious barge through the waters of the strait. He does not stop there. He sells the most important positions in the state to the highest bidder at auction. In this way, he adds to his wealth. While the people struggle with poverty, the collected gold flows into the Grand Vizier's coffers. The extent of the injustice quietly unites the ulama and the janissaries. The palace walls begin to hear the footsteps of the approaching great uprising. The last night of Grand Vizier Ahmet Pasha. The Janissary commander Kara Murat Ağa sends the Grand Vizier a deadly warning letter. Upon receiving the letter, the Grand Vizier devises a bloody plan for the sake of his seat. He invites the opposing Janissary commanders to his son's wedding. This invitation is not a celebration, but a deadly trap. His intention is to collectively slaughter all the Ağas attending the wedding in one night. However, this secret is leaked to Kara Murat Ağa before the wedding. The Ağas narrowly escape the trap. Swords are drawn. The janissaries and sipahis gather at Fatih Mosque and ignite the fire of rebellion. They demand the Grand Vizier's head from the Sultan. The rebellion grows and Sultan Ibrahim is deposed. Left alone, Grand Vizier Ahmed Pasha escapes through the streets of Istanbul in disguise. He takes refuge with an acquaintance named Haji Behram, but his location is reported. With a fatwa from the Sheikh al-Islam, he is captured, executed, and his body is thrown onto a porter's horse and flung into the horse square. The rebels convinced the ignorant masses that human fat is a cure for rheumatism. The Grand Vizier's body is chopped up piece by piece and sold for 5 or 10 akçe. The journey that began with his head on a platter ends at the meat market, and from that day on, his name is engraved in history as 1,000 pieces, or Hazerpare.